Aloha, family and friends. Scott Sommer here, holistic healer. Let me talk to you a little bit about pain, where pain comes from, and also, lack of circulation. So pain and lack of circulation. So pain really is lack of circulation, lack of blood flow, and there's really three different flows in Chinese medicine that exist. So there's the flow of blood, there's the flow of lymphatic fluid, right, which is underneath the skin. And then there's finally the flow of qi, or electrical flow. So what really happens is, say for instance, somebody has a trauma, you're in a car accident and you get hit from behind, you have a whiplash. Well, obviously that trauma creates a blockage. And that blockage is like a really bad bruise. It could be in your neck, it might be in your back, wherever it might be. It creates this blockage, and so those three flows don't happen. And they don't flow like they should, almost like a tourniquet, it just slows down the flow, if you will. And so that's one way that pain can happen. Another way is it might be slow and gradual. Like, maybe you're under a lot of stress, and then your back starts to hurt you, which is more of like a deficiency pain, or it feels kind of dull and achy, you don't feel right. So that's another way that can happen. So stress can induce pain and blockage, and kind of slowly, like a tourniquet, slowly slow down these flows that we talked about. So that's another way, stress, a traumatic event that's physical and or emotional in the second part. And so there's other ways too, like, you might get some parasites, from eating bad food or sushi, or from a pet or some tap water. And then that can settle in your gut. And then you can get some like strange pains in your stomach. So there's all kinds of different ways, and there's 12 different reasons why we get sick or we get pain, including scars. So you might even have a scar from childhood that interferes with the electrical flow. Once again, one of the flows that can block and create pain. So we call this I call this the frozen effect, I'm sure you've seen the movie Frozen. Well, one thing that I really like about that movie, first of all, it's a really cool movie, is that, like this town gets frozen and then they have to get thawed out, So it's kind of what happens to us, So from the time that we're born as babies, we have perfect flow. Typically, if a baby's born healthy, it has, no pain, everything is, limber and flowing and warm. Babies are kind of warm and soft, and they have good flow, good electrical flow, lymphatic flow, and just a blood flow in general. So then what happens is, as we age, these different things happen to us. We might have a traumatic car accident at age 12. We might have stress at age 15. And we might contract some kind of virus like mono or something that's never quite resolved and gets into our muscles and creates stiffness and pain. And so all of these things have to be resolved, as time goes on. Otherwise, it's just continual pain that's unresolved, creating migraines that could be hormonal based. So once you find out one of these 12 causes of disease, according to Asian medicine, and how it's blocking these three flows in the body, then we have to decide what therapies exist. So there are really four major therapies that I use in the clinic, for the most part, that are really useful for this type of problem. So one is to restore electrical flow. We use acupuncture. So as an acupuncturist and practitioner of Asian medicine and kinesiology, I test using acupuncture and kinesiology, which is really unique, customized acupuncture treatment to find out exactly where the problem is, to resolve it with the right point combination of super fine, hair fine needles that don't hurt. And so that's one way that we help resolve pain. So usually it takes 3 to maybe 5 sessions to help resolve pain based on how long a person has had this problem. The second thing that we use that's very effective, which is heat therapy. So we have different therapies such as the jade bed, which is a jade roller bed that you lay down on. It's from Korea. We have this in the clinic, and it helps release the muscle tension along the spine and all the muscles in the back to stimulate the organs, release pain and inflammation, and get the organs functioning again, to release stagnation is what we call stagnation, which is causing the pain. And then there's another machine that we have that's another form of hot therapy called the hot house. We mentioned this in previous videos, but this is basically something you lay on, a hot bed, if you will, that heats from the bottom. It also heats from the top, a dome that goes over you. It's the most relaxing thing in the world. It's so amazing. Everybody loves it. So that's a great thing to do too. You can come on in as a patient and just do like 5 sessions and find out, how much better that you feel. So that's another thing. It's very, very effective. And there are other things such as the Beamer, which is something that helps increase circulation. It's a machine from Germany. It's a bioenergetic field that you lay on this mat, and then the mat projects an energy field up into the body, which is really likened to the same frequency as the earth. So it's very calming. Maybe you've heard of the term grounding, where somebody, walks on the beach or sits on the ground in the park, and they just feel calmer because that frequency of the earth is really the same frequency that's in this mat, developed by a German physicist more than 20 years ago. So we have all of these therapies here in the clinic. So ultimately, the last therapy that we use is herbal and nutritional. So we know that there are a lot of great, herbal combinations that we can match to your body. And once I use kinesiology to match the problem and the solution, then we can find the right frequency to resolve the inflammation. So there are things like turmeric and boswellia, many herbs that are very effective. Something called OPC that we use, which is like a wine extract, that we use to help resolve, as well as green tea extract. So there's all kinds of ways to help resolve pain naturally and safely. The key is to come on by and get assessed and just really experience some of these therapies, which are safe and natural and effective and really affordable. For when you think about it, the cost of pain and what it costs if you have to use drugs or spinal taps or so many other ways that are so invasive and really toxic to the body. So at this point, I hope that you take advantage of these therapies, which are safe and natural, that we have here in the clinic. And I hope to see you soon. Look forward to helping you resolve your pain and resolve the stagnation of this frozen effect known as stagnation of the body, or blood stagnation according to Chinese medicine. And I call it the frozen effect. So it's as if we're going to take out a blow dryer and defrost the frozen effect of everything that becomes frozen so that it becomes melted once again. So you have free-flowing qi or energy, free-flowing blood and lymphatic system. So for now, take care, be well. I'll see you soon.